Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Mace, coming to you from Canada. Yeah, back again from British Columbia, to be specific. Let's check this out. Hashtag dumb American things. Let's see what people have to say around the world about our Americans. Americans, as Ricky would say from Trailer Park Boys. It's the Americans. If you never saw Trailer Park Boys, it's a Canadian mockumentary series, comedy, very beloved around the world, I would say. Check it out if you like kind of mockumentary style comedy. It's a good slice of Canadiana and has some real heart to it as well. But one of the central characters' name is Ricky. He's always screwing up words. He says things wrong, and so one of them is like worst case Ontario instead of worst case scenario. That's just one example. Supply and command instead of supply and demand. Anyways, let's check out these videos, see what people are going to have to say. Let's check out this dude, Jack Torsel.
I'm honestly convinced America's the dumbest country in the world. Like, why do you call petrol gas when it is literally a liquid? And then you go out there and you make up these niche sports which no one else in the world plays.
Well, to be fair, gas is just short for gasoline, which is not a gas. It's a liquid. And gasoline and petrol are the exact same thing. It's just different
Sports which no one else in the world plays, and you call your winners world champions. Also, alongside Liberia and Myanmar, you're one of only 3 countries in the world which use the imperial system, who also coincidentally don't have their shit together. Grow up. I'm honestly...
He's on one. All right. What's this dude?
One of the dumbest things that we as Americans ever normalized was the idea of homeownership as some sort of important milestone. Like, every time you see somebody buy a house and announce it to their...
I think more so it's just a pretty solid investment for the most part. It's not easy. Home ownership has gone down huge, right, in the last 5 decades. And the thing is, home prices have gone up probably at minimum 50 to 80%, something like that, more. Anyways, my point is that wages are absolutely stagnated. So, say in 1950, I would guess 50% of people, were married and buying a home by the age of 30. In 2025, it's probably like 10%, maybe 15% of people being able to do that, simply because they're not able to buy into the market because inflation is so high, and we've essentially the middle class has been completely decimated and hollowed out. So now what we have basically is the ultra rich, the elites, people with over $1 million in their bank accounts and assets that are totaling massive numbers, and they don't live on the same clock or time frame that we do. And then there's everybody else that are basically just the poors, who they live month to month. And that's not to say that you can't put food on the table, or you're not doing okay, you're not doing well, but we're on a different time level. So like, we have bills every month. Our mortgage is due on the 1st. Our cell phone bill is due on the 22nd. Our utilities bill is due on the 15th. And we know these dates. Our cell phone bill is this date. Our internet bill, all of the different bills that we get, we know when they're removed from our accounts. And if you're in a situation where you have to worry about how much is in your accounts to make sure that your bills are paid, or even just aware of that, like, you're probably not in the big boys club, the elites, who just, it's a different game, man, entirely. But yeah, let's continue his thoughts here.
friends and family, what do they get in response? Congratulations. Congratulations for what? Going into debt? For signing up for a monthly payment for the next 30 years? Like, almost everyone I know treats it as if life is buy a home or die trying. Like,
I mean, yeah, he's somewhat of a cynical viewpoint of it. You are taking debt, but with that comes equity, and with that comes investment, instead of, because yeah, sure, unless you're buying this house outright, you're going to be taking a mortgage. And I think there is benefits for renting and there's benefits for owning. And it depends on the person's situation what works well for them. But if you're going to be living in the same place for the next 25 years, whatever it is, however long your mortgage is, some people do 15, 20. It doesn't have to be 30 years. 30 seems excessive. I've heard of even 50-year mortgages. That's absolutely insane. That's a half a century. But because renting, you're literally just throwing that money in the wind. And yes, there's less worries. You don't have to worry about maintenance, upkeep, issues with the place. But you're also under the stewardship of this landlord at the same time. And all that money is just gone. It's not invested in anything.
It's one of the most important milestones in the whole world, when in reality, it doesn't really matter that much. It's something that people should do if it makes financial sense and it fits whatever lifestyle they're...
Like, for instance, my house has doubled, more than doubled, since I bought it 8 years ago. So if I sold it right now, I would be making hundreds of thousands in profit. Now, I would still need somewhere to live. So would that be reinvested in a new home? Or could I just simply... But if you get into the market, it also works as a retirement goal, because you can sell your home, which is appreciated a huge amount by the time you're in retirement age, or by the time you're 50, 55, 60, 65. Then you can sell it, downsize to something smaller. Say you have kids, they're gone, whatever the person's situation is. It does really make sense for a lot of people. Now, there's a cynicism that can come into this of like, well, there's going to be a nuclear war. We're not going to be here. But people have been saying stuff like this, apocalyptic takes, for literally ever. Until that happens, there's just no use even worrying about stuff like that. You need to do what's best for you and your family, to excel, to thrive.
Trying to build. It's not something they should do so that people think better of them. This might sound crazy, but there's a lot of people out there right now who are struggling to make their house payment at the moment because they bought a home within the last 5 years for the wrong reasons. They didn't buy the home because it made the most financial sense. They bought it because they were caring about what other people thought of them. And this is coming from someone who's also a homeowner, but I did it because it made the most financial sense. I'm not better than anyone else because I own a home, and the value of my house has no bearing on who I am as a person, how good of a person I am.
I didn't expect him to be a homeowner. So everything that he's saying, I understand his point. People being not thoughtful or mindful and stretching themselves way too thin, putting themselves in incredibly precarious financial situations. Yes, we should discourage people from doing that. If you can't afford it, don't do it. So yes, of course, that is just common sense. Thanks.
This is the stupidest comment I've read so far. Welcome to another edition of Anti-Canadian Comments made by...
Okay, anti-Canadian comments. This should be good.
Americans. Let's get into it. You seriously don't think that America could build a bigger maple syrup factory? America's bigger than Canada, and we have better maple
maple syrup factory? Yeah, that's...
syrup. Okay. Number one, maple syrup isn't made in a factory. It's made in the trees. Number two, and I can't believe I have to say this, America is not bigger than Canada. It's really not hard to fact check me on this one. Just look at a globe or a map, or literally ask anyone in the world this question. Not in the United States, but in any other country. What the hell are they teaching you in American schools? Follow for more dumb comments. This is the stupid...
I do gotta say, I love the Indiana Jones poster with the monkey brains. That's classic. Temple of Doom right there, baby. All right, another one. Dumb Americans core.
Can you point to where we are?
I got you.
A geography question to an American? Good luck. You are just shooting in the wind there, pal.
We around here, the whole thing.
How many moons does the Earth have?
What dialect was that?
1.
Are you sure?
Oh, the Earth.
Yeah, the Earth.
12.
Isn't that Ohio?
I think it's China. That's Jamaica, right? You think I'm stupid, bro?
There's no way he's showing them literal pictures of the United States. These are the type of moments and type of videos that you see, and it really, really, truly does make you question everything. We're in a simulation, man. It has to be. We're in a simulation.
Russia.
Damn, kind of like Brazil. I graduated from Harvard though, bro, so that's easy.
Graduated from Harvard.
Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and
they have
maps.
I
believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. or should help South Africa and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries, so we will be able to build up our future for our children.
Thank you very much, South Carolina.
A very South Carolina answer. That was great. That was great. All right. Stupid as MAGA. These ones are good.
Barack Obama had big part of 9/11.
Which part?
Not being around, always on
Care to share any evidence for that there, Val?
vacation, never in the office.
Why do you think Barack Obama wasn't in?
Always on vacation, never in the office. Has he seen how much golf Trump plays?
In the Oval Office on 9/11.
That I don't know. We'd like to get to the bottom of that.
Fault is what's happening in Ukraine right now.
Well, of course, it's Biden's fault. He didn't do anything to protect that nation, to protect those people.
When you look at what happened between Russia and Ukraine, you have to point the finger at the leader of the United States of America.
Of course, you have to.
They want to destroy the neutral family.
Who does?
The left, the Democratic Party. You can't use the words mother, father.
Interesting you're using them literally right now. See, she's the type of person that's been told these things and just believes them. It's like the right's obsession with trans people who are like such a small percentage of the population. Like, just leave them alone. Who cares? Let them do their thing. Live and let live. And the Christian fundamentalist types and even leaning white supremacists. Like, you have Hegseth, I think that's his name, the Secretary of War for Trump. He literally has, like, just a couple weeks ago, he had a Christian fundamentalist pastor speak at the Pentagon. A dude who literally believes women shouldn't be able to vote. They're like the type of people that are like, well, the man's the provider and he's the one that goes out and works, and the woman stays home and does the laundry and has dinner on the table when I get home. Like, that type of Christian. Yeah, not good.
Am I gonna get in trouble if I use the word mother or father?
They'll try to correct you.
If you look at the Trump administration on paper as a report card, it was stellar. It just was.
In what sense?
The numbers.
The economy.
The economy.
Down.
Well, I'm talking about before the COVID economic collapse.
We don't count the whole term. We can cherry pick numbers that make him look like a fantastic president. Who is running the government right now?
President Trump.
He's running the government.
And the military.
And he's running the military. So we should blame him for what happened in Afghanistan.
No.
But it's still his fault.
It's way beyond my
understanding.
Barack Obama had big...
These people are basically just drones who ingest and regurgitate whatever they're fed by the media. And sure, we can all be victim to this. Of course we can. But I think it's good to be curious and apprehensive about some of the information that we receive. Certainly. This guy's saying Americans are dumb AF. See, a lot of the Europeans, and you'll see comments on YouTube sometimes, people, well, when you're talking about Americans, you're talking about yourself. And of course, I'm talking about me as a Canadian. They'll say, you're talking about yourself because, didn't you know Canada's in the Americas? So when they make this point, I'm like, okay, so are you saying that it makes the most sense when we're speaking with language, something that's supposed to bring specificity and meaning to words that we say, that when I say an American, you're just assuming it could be somebody from Argentina, somebody from Peru, somebody from Alaska, somebody from Nunavut, somebody from Ohio. somebody from Brazil. Well, we're all Americans. We're in the Americas.
I was coming from Spain, where that's all Spanish. I tried to pay a taxi driver in pesos.
Sir, it's not even fucking close.
They speak Spanish in Spain. I was in Mexico with pesos.
The language doesn't dictate what the money is.
But it should. I was coming from...
Why? Oh, that's a very American train of thought. All right, let's see what she's got to say.
This is my first ever reenactment of
you shouldn't do in Italy.
Actual interaction while my husband and I were in Italy at a very nice, authentic Italian restaurant in Sicily. Spaghetti and meatballs. You know, meatballs, spaghetti, meatballs. You know, spaghetti.
You know, spaghetti and a meatball.
Oh my God.
Probably.
The man yelling spaghetti and meatballs was our very good friend's mother's husband. They had only been married for maybe like a couple years, but now they're divorced. This is my first.
Okay.
Dumb Things About America, Part 1. Wrote my first test today while we were told that we had to bring in, so part of it was multiple choice. So we had to bring in this piece of paper called a Scantron or Scan Test or Scan Grid or whatever for the multiple choice part. The operative words in the sentence being, I had to bring it myself. It looks like this. Now tell me why in the great land of America, I have to bring this myself. I studied in South Africa. There you would assume this use case would be there. They provided it for us. I paid tuition. Why must I bring my own piece of paper? So I managed to get one without having to go buy, because South African make a plan, a boer maak 'n plan, But still, it's so dumb.
So he's saying he's in university in the States, and they have to provide their own multiple choice paper for the test?
You would to get one without having to assume this use case would be...
Because it looked like a very typical multiple choice answer question sheet. Well, I mean, the questions aren't on it, just the answers. And then it just makes marking easy for enormous classes, right? Because they can just scan them all and get your score. So that's very strange. Don't know what to think about that one. All right, Dumb American Laws. The land of the free. The home of the brave.
These are the stupidest laws in America. Part 99. Let's go. If you, for some reason, live in Alaska and you want to take a picture of a sleeping bear, it's actually illegal. And if you break the law and he wakes up, then I guess you'll face the consequences of your actions. It's like if it was a law to not commit suicide. Is that illegal?
I wonder if, the way he described it is precisely how that law works. Or it's just disturbing wildlife. Because if you're too close and you're taking a picture, then yeah. But, I mean, I don't know. It's a weird one. I'm curious what the actual language of the law says for that one.
Is it illegal to commit suicide? I tried to look it up and it gave me a help is available in the state.
Okay, I don't like this guy. More dumb laws. The dumbest law in every U.S. state. Dumb things American do. Do you? Let's go.
Okay, speaking of other cultures and countries, if you're from another country or culture, please weigh in on this. I've heard this before, like a little bit, but I was wondering, do you, in other countries outside of the United States, just randomly break into random accents? Because we do a lot. At least I do. And I know a lot of other people that do too. Like today I was at the farm with my kids and I was like, let's get on out of here. I'm like, where'd that come from? I am not from the South. But sometimes it'll be like, make sure to get your dinner before you go to bed. Where is that coming from? Or like, be careful where you step up, dear.
Where is she from? Is she... Doesn't really say. Utah in Florida? Is she American? Oh, shit.
Okay, speaking of other cultures, where is that coming from? Or like, Be careful where you step up, dear. Or if you're...
I will admit I do that sometimes. Especially more so to just like make people laugh, because they'll have a good laugh at how horrible my whatever accent I'm trying to mimic is. An interesting thing about this, though, like socially speaking, is it's a social taboo to do like a Chinese accent or Japanese or many of the Asian ones, also Indian or Southeast Asian. You know, those would be viewed upon by many as if you're doing it as if you know, it's a prejudice or racial. It's racially insensitive. It's kind of interesting because a lot of those social cues that we use are fascinating. Is it because those perceive, like, because Japan is one of the biggest countries in the world, like a middle power, superpower type country. So there isn't really like, it's not like a punching down thing if you're mimicking their accent. And China's massive, 2 billion people. Or is it because you can mimic the accent of any perceived like white country when it comes to stereotypes anyways? Or is it that? I don't know. But like, I'm not going to be doing, if you could do a Chinese accent really well, I suppose nothing really wrong with it. I don't know. Interesting questions. I feel like that topic could be really, really deeply broken down. I hate these cooking videos where it's obviously, a lot of the times it's just complete bullshit in what they're doing. Like, they do things in the video to purposely piss people off. Like, they'll leave the sticker on the bottom of this pan. So it's like, yeah, doesn't make sense. All right. I think that's about enough for today until my brain compartments and departments stop working for the day. Stop using your big people words. Just use normal person words. Another Trailer Park Boys influence comment. All right, we'll see you all in the next one. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.